Kindly rise as the Honorable Vice President of India is about to enter. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the presentation ceremony of the 23rd Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence for 2022. It is a privilege to welcome the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, Professor Bakul Dholakia, Dr. Sudesh Dhankhar, members of the jury, distinguished diplomats, members of Board of Governors, and members of the Advisory Board of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Shri Anil Shastri, Chairman Board of Governors, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management and convener of the jury, Shri Sunil Shastri, President Shastri Seva Niketan, Shri Pratyush Sinha, former Central Vigilance Commissioner, Dr. D.K. Srivastav, Vice Chairman, University Grants Commission, Justice G.B. Patnaik, former Chief Justice of India, Justice M.K. Sharma, former Judge of the Supreme Court, Mr. Anil Razdan, former Secretary Government of India, Shri Adarsh Shastri, Dr. Manoj Pant, Director, Institute of Foreign Trade, invited dignitaries, eminent media personalities, and other distinguished guests. May I now request Shri Anil Shastri, Chairman Board of Governors, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, to please deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
Respected Vice President, Hon'ble Shri Dhankhar ji, respected Srimati Sudesh Dhankhar ji, the recipient of the prestigious Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence 2022, Dr. Bakul Dholakia, Director of the Shastri Institute of Management, Dr. Praveen Gupta, members of the jury of this award, members of the Board of Governors of LPSIM, members of the advisory body, faculty, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have a diplomat from the Embassy of Pakistan. We were also expecting the ambassador from Belarus, but I think the rains today have prevented certain people coming in here. One member of the jury, Dr. Manoj Pant, the director of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, he also was to be coming here. He was very keen to come because he told me yesterday that he had lived in this house when Pandit Govind Vallabh Pant was the Home Minister, and his father, Manoj Pant's father, was the OSD. So he used to live here. And then, of course, as some of you would recall, that Pandit Govind Vallabh Pant was succeeded by Lal Bahadur Shastri as India's Home Minister. And then, of course, Mr. Pant had to shift to Meenawad. Anyway, but Mr. Shastri did not shift into this house because he found this house bigger than the one where he was living as a minister, and which is where he lived as Prime Minister also. And as you all know, that place is converted into Lal Bahadur Shastri Memorial by the Government of India. And I take this opportunity of inviting Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji along with Sudesh ji to visit the museum, which is just next door, very close by from here. And I will let you know about that. At the outset, I take the pleasure of welcoming all of you here and to this award ceremony where Dr. Bakul Dholakia, in a short while from now, will receive the coveted Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for his excellence for the year 2022 at the hands of the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar. I would like to extend a hearty welcome to Jagdeep Dhankhar ji and would also express my gratitude to him for having agreed to give away the award to Dr. Bakul Dholakia. The award was instituted in the year 2000 to honor an Indian residing either in India or abroad, who is an exceptionally outstanding and distinguished business leader, management practitioner, public administrator, educator, or institution builder for his or her sustained individual contributions and achievements of high professional order and excellence. The award also serves the purpose of perpetuating the memory of India's second Prime Minister and one of the greatest sons of born in this soil, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. As we all know, Shastri ji was born poor and he lost his father when he was only 1.5 years old. As a result, he had to lead very difficult times in the early years of his life. It was because of his hard work, dedication, commitment, grit, and, of course, personal integrity that he rose to the highest office of India's Prime Minister. He used to say, there are many things one can talk about Shastri ji, but he used to say, "Musibat bata ke nahi aati." And he was always ready with contingency plans. He was always ready with contingency plans, whether it was the Pakistan attack in the Cham sector, or it was a political problem, or the death of Jawaharlal Nehru. So he was always ready with the contingency plans, the same contingency plans that we talk about in today's management, education, and management practices. He would face different situations differently. He never believed in status quo. In a particular situation, he would act differently, he would deal with that situation differently. And that is what made him a leader. He would deal differently with different people. If he had 12 or 14 cabinet colleagues, at that time, the cabinet comprised of only 12 to 14 people. and he would know how to deal with those 12 and 14 people and get the best out of him. His decisiveness was proved during the Indo-War in 1965, when the three chiefs of the armed forces came to his house, the memorial which is there today, and told him that Pakistan had attacked the international border. I'm sorry our diplomat is here, but it's a fact of history, so I'm just saying something. And I was just reading just 3 days ago somewhere that Shastriji had said, I'll send it across to you, that the war is between two countries and not between the two peoples. And so that is what also I experienced when I visited your country 3 years ago, and the amount of love and affection that I got from the people. Restaurants would not charge me and my wife for whatever we ate. And the shirts and the clothes that we got almost 0.5% discounts. That is the affection. So I think Shastriji was right that it was always, the war was, with any country, the war is with the people, war is not with the people. Over the years, we have tried to cover eminent persons for this award. The award has been given to renowned persons from academics like Dr. C.K. Prahlad and Professor Yaspal, and this year it is Dr. Bakul Dholakia. In the field of medicine, the recipients have been Dr. Naresh Trehan, the famous cardiologist, cardiac surgeon rather, Dr. Rajan Badve, Director, Tata Memorial Hospital, Mumbai, and Dr. Randeep Guleria, former Director of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi. From industry, we've had Shri Sunil Mittal of Airtel and Shri Narayan Murthy of Infosys. We have also given awards to social activists, Srimati Ila Ben Bhatt and Srimati Aruna Roy, who have received this award. I remember the words of Dr. C.K. Prahlad when he said in his acceptance speech, and he talked about inclusive marketing. And we have been talking, our political leaders and the government, we talk of inclusive growth. In management also we talk of inclusive growth. But it was in 2022 years ago when he wrote that paper which was published in the Harvard Business Review. And he talked of inclusive marketing. And when he came to our institute, he said, some student asked him, what is this inclusive marketing? So he said, inclusive marketing is that the day India will produce an ice cream, or somebody in India will produce an ice cream for 1 rupee. That is inclusive marketing. And so they, as I said, we are doing this as a service to certain eminent, to certain fields and areas which our people like Dr. Dholakia has represented. Dr. Dholakia is a known name in the field of management education. He's acclaimed for his bold stance on autonomy of higher education institutions. He has been director of IIM Ahemdabad, and under his pioneering vision and strategic leadership, IIM Ahemdabad has witnessed several path-breaking initiatives and activities which have contributed to its enhanced international image and global recognition. His achievements in institutional building have been acclaimed nationally and internationally. In recognition of his distinguished services in the field of education, Dr. Dholakia was awarded Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award of India in 2007. Just before this function started, I just checked with him if IIM Ahemdabad is number 1. So he says it's between Ahemdabad and Bangalore. So my Lagan Shastri was sitting next to him, and he was quite pleased when he was told that IIM Bangalore is number 1 today, because he is a pass out from IIM Bangalore. I am grateful to the Vice President for being with us this evening. Sri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji is deeply admired by all. The other day on 2nd October, because I say something, it must be substantiated by facts. It's not just to please anybody. I said that deeply admired by all, which I saw the other day on the 2nd October, which is Shastriji's birth anniversary. And there was a program at Vijay Ghat. and the Vice President visited Vijayaghat. And at the Samadhi, he was surrounded by numerous people waiting to get themselves photographed with him. And I could see that he was defying the advice of his security personnel. One of the security person came up to me, "Sir, can you help us? You know, he's going on getting himself photographed one after another. This is not correct. It's not as per the norm of security of the Vice President of India." So I said, "I'm helpless. I can't do anything. What can I tell the Vice President? You know, so it's a little difficult." So he was also helpless. So he kept on meeting people. He ensured that whosoever approached him, he met that person or that lady. Even though he is the Vice President, he is simple, humble, and modest. When I met him 2 weeks ago to invite him for this function, I requested to give me a date and time in accordance with his convenience. Then he looked at me and responded by saying that you give the date and time. So I was foxed. I said, "How can I tell you the date and time? You are the Vice President now. You decide." "No, you tell me the date." Then, okay, then I said, "Can it be after 10 days on a Saturday?" He said, "Shall we do it on the 8th of October?" I said, "That's fine." And then I said, "What was the time?" "You decide the time." So again, I was perplexed, how can I decide the time of the Vice President? It's not Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, who was once upon a time my colleague in the Council of Ministers. So he is now the Vice President. So I again requested him. He said, "No, you give." I said, "Okay, then let it be 8." He said, "All right," and he readily agreed. And as I said, very few people at this level would respond like this. But let me tell you, our Vice President, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, is an exception. A word on Shastri Institute of Management. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management was established 27 years ago and has come a long way. The new building that we have in Dwarka was inaugurated by the then President of India. I am sure that this institute will go many, many miles ahead in the times to come. And I do believe that the faculty and the students, under the stewardship of Dr. Praveen Gupta, will endeavor to achieve this. India has been in the process of transformation during the last 20 years and has emerged as a major economic, political, and military power in the world. The world is looking at India as never before. The youth of today is adapting itself to the changes taking place and have become part of the transformation process. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management has fully comprehended the change situations in different aspects of management education. It has tried its best to keep pace with modern times, and I wish them all success. In the end, I would once again like to thank, or rather would like to extend a very hearty welcome on my behalf and on behalf of all of us present here to our Vice President, and would also like to thank him for being with us tonight. I would also like to thank Dr. Srimati Sudesh Dhankhar, who has been very kind to have accompanied Dhankhar ji to this auditorium, and we look forward to meeting her after the function. My hearty welcome to Dr. Bakul Dholakia, who has traveled from Ahemdabad to receive this award. And when I gave him this news on the telephone some days ago, he said it's a great honor, perhaps the greatest honor that I have ever received in my life. And he's here. Thank you very much. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. The award. Bharat Ratna Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri, a pragmatic and down-to-earth leader of the people of India, an exemplary statesman, an able administrator with moral and ethical attributes of a Mahatma, and a person of impeccable integrity, was a great soul dedicated to the welfare of the common man. He was deeply patriotic, having dedicated his life to the service of the nation. In the words of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Shastri Ji was a man of highest integrity, loyalty, devoted to ideals, a man of conscience, and a man of hard work. Shastri Ji felt the need for a responsive and agile administration during his tenure as the Prime Minister of India. The Constitution of Administrative Reforms Commission to streamline public administration was one among many steps he took to make administration quick and responsive. He simultaneously felt the need for developing high-quality institutions which could provide highly efficient administrators and managers for the future. His vision was later translated into reality when the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration was set up in Missouri by the Government of India. In order to uphold the vision of Shastri Ji, Lal Bahadur Shastri Education Society set up the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management at Delhi in 1995. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management has instituted the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence. The award honors each year a distinguished Indian residing in India or abroad for his or her sustained individual contributions and outstanding achievements of high professional order and excellence in the field of management, public administration, public affairs, education, institution building, art, culture, and sports. The honor carries a cash award of Rs 5 lakh plus a citation and a plaque. The awardee's name is inscribed on the roll of honor of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, and he or she is designated as Lal Bahadur Shastri Fellow. Now I call upon Ms. Pragati Shukla, student, to read the citation.
The citation. Dr. Bakul Dholakia is a distinguished educationist who has left an indelible mark in the field of management education in India. Born on 15 July 1947, he is a gold medalist from MS University, Baroda, and holds a doctorate in economics. Professor Dholakia is acclaimed for his bold stance on autonomy of higher educational institutions. He has been the director of IIM Ahemdabad, the Director General of International Management Institute, Delhi, among others. In a professional career spanning 47 years, Dr. Dholakia has been IIM Ahemdabad for 33 years, where he occupied the Reserve Bank of India chair from 1992 to 1999, served as the dean from 1998 to 2001, and the director from 2002 to 2007, where he also received the Best Professor Award. Under the pioneering vision and strategic leadership of Professor Dholakia, IIM Ahemdabad has witnessed several path-breaking initiatives. In recognition of his distinguished services in the field of education, Dr. Dholakia was awarded Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian award of India in 2007. The coveted Bharat Asmita National Award was conferred upon him in 2008 by the Honorable Chief Justice of India for his sterling contribution to management education. In academic leadership, received the prestige academic leadership in May 2022, in Indian Council of Social Welfare honored him with the Pride of Gujarat Award. Professor Dholakia had been a board member of the Reserve Bank of India Western Area Board from 1993 to 2001. He has also served as the chairman of the National Board of Accreditation for Technical Education in India from 2005 to 2008. Over the last 3 decades, Dr. Dholakia has worked on numerous government committees such as the Rangarajan Committee on Pricing and Taxation of Petroleum Products 2006 and the Expert Group on Pension Funds 2009. The Competition Commission of India also appointed him as a member of the Eminent Persons Advisory Group. Professor Dholakia has guided 20 PhD students in economics, finance, business policy, and public systems at IIM Ahemdabad. He has been a consultant to various national and international organizations. He has authored 12 books, 28 monographs, and more than 50 research papers published in professional journals in India and abroad.
In recognition of his pioneering work in the field of management education, the 23rd Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence for 2022 is being conferred on Dr. Bakul Dholakia. Now I would request Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, to kindly confer the award upon Dr. Bakul Dholakia. May I now request, sir, to kindly present the plaque to Dr. Bakul Dholakia. May I now request Honorable Vice President of India to kindly present the citation to Dr. Dholakia. May I now request Honorable Vice President of India to kindly present the check to Dr. Bakul Dholakia. Thank you, sir. I now invite the award recipient, Professor Bakul Dholakia, to kindly deliver his response speech. Please, sir.
Honorable Vice President of India, respected Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, Srimati Dr. Sudesh Dhankhar, Shri Anil Shastri, Chairman Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Dr. Praveen Gupta, Director Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Shri Sunil Shastri, Justice G.B. Patnaik, Justice N.K. Sharma, Shri Anil Rajdanji, Mr. Adarsh Shastri, Ms. Anju Shastri, Mr. Lagan Shastri, Mr. Mudil Suresh, Dr. D.K. Srivastav, distinguished guests and invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to accept the prestigious and coveted Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence 2022 with utmost humility and gratitude. I consider it as a symbol of great honor bestowed on me by Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, and I feel privileged to be chosen by a jury consisting of highly recognized and eminent people for this prestigious award. I am deeply grateful to them for considering me worthy of this great honor. I am humbled to join the elite group of highly distinguished and accomplished recipients of this award over the last 2 decades. I consider it as a matter of great pride and honor to receive this award from the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji. I'm grateful to you, sir, for bestowing this honor on me this evening. I will cherish the memories of this experience for a very, very long time. What makes this award truly special for me is that it has been instituted in honor of the Honorable Second Prime Minister of India, Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri, widely acclaimed as one of the greatest leaders who led our country with great success in the most difficult and challenging times, and whose immense contribution to the overall socio-economic development of India through numerous initiatives laid the foundation for India to emerge as a strong nation during the 60s and thereafter. His vision of India and his focus on the values of impeccable integrity and moral character are cherished by everyone over the last 6 decades. I must say this, that he was a source of inspiration for me during the entire period of my university education and the initial stages of my professional career. I am fortunate to receive this coveted award instituted in honor of such a stalwart leader of this great nation. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management and Shri Anil Shastri in particular. It would be my pleasure to be designated as Lal Bahadur Shastri Fellow and be a part of the distinguished roll of honor of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management. I extend my best wishes for the bright future of LBSIM. I thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now request the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, to kindly address the audience.
My greetings to everyone here. And for me, it's a very special occasion for a variety of reasons. Shri Anil Shastri ji, Chairman of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, a person of sublime qualities. One gain that I will ever remember after being elected to Parliament in 1989 was that I happened to be his colleague, both in Parliament and in the Union Ministry. I still remember and recall the seat that was given to me. He was on my right side. All through I have known him and his wife Madhu, along with my wife Dr. Sudesh, as family well-wishers. In trying times and difficulties which the family faced, he was always there with great emotive strength. Dr. Bakul Dholakia ji, former director of IIM Ahemdabad. I met him for the first time here, but I know of him. And I can tell you, everyone here and outside will give a stamp of approval to this recognition and also to this institute, backed by a jury that has credentials that are impeccable, unimpeachable, and of highest credit worthiness. Professor Parveen Gupta, the director, members of the jury, comprising of distinguished jurist, former judge, Justice Patnaik and his team, diplomats, dignitaries present in the audience, distinguished members of the Shastri family and audience. Anil has been very kind with his introduction, and my wife has been kinder with her silence. Otherwise, there was enough for her to enter into a caveat and distinguish two judges here to decide, and that might have given me spinal pain. It is indeed an honor to be associated with any institute that carries the name of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. No one in this country of 1.3 billion people is ignorant about him, and that is across all generations. And this has been carried through the most powerful weapon, Kivdanti. They don't read about Shastri ji. They know about Shastri ji from their parents, from their teachers, from their grandparents. And therefore, one of the most illustrious sons of this country, and a politician, statesman. I think there will be few parallels in history where his commitment to integrity, transparency, accountability was demonstrated by his actions in most difficult times. I am so glad and happy to note, particularly after knowing about the recipients, including the present one, that the Institute and the award upholds vision of Shastri ji, his values and what he stood for. Society can be transformed only by emulating such a personality. Shastri ji's slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, immortalized him. It resonates in our mind and hearts and ears, even now. It has relevance for all times to come. It inspires millions of countrymen, and there can be no greater unifying, impactful scenario in the country than this slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Shastri ji was Prime Minister for a brief period, but his name is etched in history, and he does not require protagonists or people to propagate it. It is indestructible, and that is the strength of his moral values and character. In such a scenario, the day is memorable for me. That one great gain that I have in my capacity as Vice President is to be presenting an award in his name and to such a distinguished person, and by an institute of which Shri Anil Shastri happens to be chairperson. Padma Shri awardee, Dr. Bakul Dholakia, his selection evokes instant appreciation by one and all. A versatile personality with significant contributions as an exalted educationist and economist. And I'm aware, having been a product of scholarship, what education means. But for the scholarship I got, I would not have had quality education. The stamp of Dr. Dholakia on the prestigious institute, IIM Ahemdabad, is being felt. And alumni have conveyed to me that there could not be a more deserving person than him for the occasion. The Corps of Management and Professionals of India, which has been created due to the untiring efforts of Dr. Dholakia and his likes, will be one of the significant contributors to India claiming its rightful place in the globe. We are on way to that destination. Jury members, I am grateful to you for two reasons in particular: presence here and having given their time selflessly for such a noble cause, because selection is a very difficult task. And our country that has rich human resource from every walk of life, I am sure there may be many considered by the jury, and I am sure they would appreciate this selection. Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management is accomplishing the objectives commendably, imparting value-based education and the pursuit for global standards of excellence. This institute, since inception, has been continually on incremental trajectory. Its chairman, Mr. Shastri, is known for his meticulous approach with strict adherence to propriety. I have been gainer of it, I have been sufferer of it as a minister. When I walked into his office, he was in the Ministry of Finance. And the office was in a block, and the size was 3 times my own office. I told Anil, I badly need indulgence. His response was, you are a distinguished lawyer, then also I was a senior advocate. Indulgence in accordance with law. And he kept to that. Shastriji's simplicity and steely resolve earned him a place, and these are not the words. He lived with them. His life always inspires us, motivates us to keep our Bharat first, before everything else, before self-interest. While the nation is relishing the historic growth of our economy, I am somewhat troubled by some who do not share our growth trajectory. Shastriji exemplified highest commitment and standards. The thought of availing an unjustified benefit never occurred to him. I'll give you one instance. Shastriji was in jail during one of his several journeys to that place, and for a cause he was fighting for the nation. During one such journey and confinement to jail, a report was given his daughter was not well. 15-day parole was given. Shastriji came out and to be with the daughter, to help her. Unfortunately, she couldn't survive. Anyone in his place would have availed the liberty of 15 days without a thought. Shastriji walked into the jail the moment the daughter was no more. Can there be a greater example of practicing such kind of propriety and public morality? India had a difficult time when Shastriji was Prime Minister, and he led India during one of the most defining moments in its history. And that was the time he gave that clarion call I referred to a while ago. We are talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are on way to it. Series of steps have been taken, and we are achieving it. The impact is being felt in the society. Shastriji stood for it. Shastriji visualized India must be strong economically and otherwise. When the country was not Atmanirbhar on grain, Shastriji gave that call. Fast once a day in a week. And what is more significant, he started with his own family. And what is more significant, no one wanted to check it. They knew it, that the first family of the country, Lal Bahadur Shastri family, has practiced it. And the entire country did it. I was a young child, a teenager, and I also followed. And I'm yet to come across a human soul of that time who did not so comply. Vision of Gandhiji and Shastriji to see Bharat being self-reliant and economically strong is being realized in present times as a consequence of series of governance affirmative steps, commendable contribution of the education is available. for this great achievement. And this is primarily due to personalities like Dholakia ji, whom we have honored today. I can make myself very clear in a group like this that intellectually is far superior to the level at which I am. One wonders why a microscopic segment finds it difficult to release the growth story and trajectory of Bharat that evokes global recognition. We have enough to be proud and celebrate. Equally worrisome is the scenario when these voices, distanced from ground reality, have no rationale for not relishing the growth story of India, are taken in high decibel by media. I would appeal to the media that India is transforming itself at this time in a manner that its impact is being felt globally. Step out of the country as educationist, as industrialist, as diplomat, as a traveler, and you will find people look at us now very differently. This India of 2022 has all the indications that we will accomplish what Shastri ji had thought of. Atmanirbhar, powerful, so that there could be peace and tranquility in the world. And why not? Our civilizational ethos have given us, and we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Perhaps history does not have another illustration where a country as rich in civilization as Bharat never is stepping out of its boundaries for expansion. Voice of Bharat is being heard in global ecosystem with an impact that enthuses our young minds. And our young minds, on account of the high quality education imparted to them by people like Dr. Dholakia and others, have been in the lead of global giants. My friend Mr. Shastri knows more about it. The kind of infrastructural changes we are witnessing, they are comparable to global benchmarks. We are witnessing all around a kind of growth scenario which we could not have imagined. When myself and Mr. Shastri were in the Council of Ministers, our prized possession was, and Sunilji will also bear me out, 50 gas connections in a year. A member of parliament could give 50 gas connections to anyone he likes, and that was power. Imagine, 180 million and more such gas connections were given free. I am sure the figures speak for themselves. The kind of banking inclusivity we have secured, the world can't believe. Initially started with the inclusion of 250 million people in the banking system, which is now more than 400 million. No one knows more than I do. When I started my career as a lawyer, I went to a bank to get a loan of 6,000 rupees so that I could buy a library. And the manager obliged me without surety being there. And look at the scenario now. One has to have only an idea. And that is why my friend Mr. Shastri Anilji will tell you how many unicorns we have, how many startups we have, what kind of impact is being felt. The entire economic ecosystem is reverberating with these developments. It is only last month that we overtook in economy strength those who ruled us for several decades, the United Kingdom, and we became the fifth. It is a matter of time, and towards the end of this decade, I have no doubt we will be third largest economy in the world. These attainments are are as a result of bolstering the economic and managerial skills of the youth through a series of affirmative steps taken by the government recently. But the contribution of the academia can never be overemphasized. And that is why an institute comes to be recognized primarily not on account of its infrastructure, but on account of its faculty. And to such faculty, a person of eminence whom we have awarded today is an inspiration. But we must all work so that we get greater cutting edge and become more competitive in the global market to make India more felt in our actions. And this can be done by technological employment at the highest level. We have seen, when as Governor State of West Bengal, I went to my village and I found the 4G connection in the village was as good as in Kolkata. This I could never imagine because I went to a school in class 6, walking 6 kilometers from a village that neither had road nor electricity and had a school only up to primary level. The resurgent New India, where ample opportunities are available to the youth to exploit their talent to their fullest level. Human resource is the richest aspect that transforms a society. Rest follows. Our ecosystem at the moment facilitates that every individual is not under any constraints and is in a position with positivity to exploit his potential and talent. I would conclude by saying what is being carried on by this prestigious institution in such wholesome and sublime manner, others must emulate. Our society must recognize people who really matter and deserve. I am baffled and sometimes pained that we accord iconic status to personalities on parameters that have no rationale. We cannot substantiate them, and they occupy public space. And their actions are far from being wholesome. I am sure a jury like this should be dominating such selections so that the awards carry credibility. Padma Awards of late have been given to people whom most of us do not know. But the moment an award is given, everyone says it has been given to the right person. I have seen it in Bengal, I have seen it in my home state, and all over the country. And therefore, authentic recognition of talent and honor is quintessential to societal growth in a manner that was visualized by people like Shastri ji. Once again, I may pay my tributes to the great politician statesman, and I am sure everyone present here and associated with this institute will ever keep in mind it is named after Kohinoor of India. They will live up to his ideas and vision. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Shri Anil Shastri, Chairman, Board of Governors, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, to kindly present a memento to the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar. May I now request Srimati Manju Shastri to present a token of our gratitude to Srimati Sudesh Dhankhar. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Professor Praveen Gupta, Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, to propose words of thanks.
Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, Dr. Sudesh Dhankhar ji, Professor Bakul Dholakia, awardee of 23rd Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence, Shri Anil Shastri ji, members of the jury, Justice G.B. Patnaik, Justice M.K. Sharma, Shri Anil Rajdan ji, Mr. Adarsh Shastri ji, Dr. D.K. Srivastav ji, Mrs. Manju Shastri, Shri Sunil Shastri ji, Mr. Pratyush Sinha, Shri Lagan Shastri ji, members of the Shastri family, diplomat from the Embassy of Pakistan, distinguished guests, my faculty colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a proud day for all of us and Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management as we have witnessed the award ceremony of prestigious 23rd Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence. At the outset, let me express my thanks and gratitude to Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji. And we have heard his pearls of wisdom. Let me also express we are truly floored and impressed by his humbleness and simplicity. My sincere thanks to Srimati Dhankhar ji for being with us on this occasion. Professor Bakul Dholakia, the recipient, we are very, very thankful and grateful for him to have accepted this award and being with us. My sincere thanks to our chairman, Shri Anil Shastri ji, for guiding and advising us throughout the process for last so many weeks. My special thanks to all the dignitaries for being with us on this occasion. I'll also like to thank the staff of the Vice President House with whom we have coordinated intensely for minute details for last 2 weeks. Thank you all, and my sincere gratitude to all of us, to all of you for being with us. Thanks. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise for the national anthem. I would like to request all dignitaries to kindly join us for tea and refreshments. Thank you all. Have a pleasant evening.